Disclaimer. The following work is intended for mature audiences, for it contains homophobic language, mild racism, sexual themes, and Fox News levels of conservative bullshit. However, it is all played for laughs and thusly should not be taken seriously, nor does it reflect the views of me or the writer. But if any of that makes you uncomfortable, viewer discretion is advised. Also, general spoilers for Omori applies here. Mari Prays the Gay Away, by Shard of Hope. Chapter 2. They Descend.
And I told Lust that I didn't need a relationship to complete me. I don't need some demon to complete me.
Satan rambled on as Sunny firmly held their palm, mumbling affirmations as the Red Devil spilled all the juicy demon tea he'd ever hoped to hear. To be honest, he didn't listen. He was too focused on this challenge. Sunny had always loved doing nails. Ever since his sister taught him at 8, he'd stared at the drying things for 10 uninterrupted minutes in fascination as Mari just giggled. Since then, if anyone in his group needed a touch-up, he was their go-to guy. It was a way to show them that he cared without having to talk. Besides, if he had to look at Kel or Aubrey with another sloppy rush job, he was gonna tear their damn nails off. Lucy, not his full name, but the devil insisted, and who was he to question the Lord of Darkness? What could be described as hybrids? Normal human-looking nails that ended in a fine point, but were more thick and sturdy, like talons. The band-aid on his thumb spoke volumes of their edge. But they were so neat, he insisted he gets to paint them. You're a strong, independent devil. Sunny murmured as he sharpened his thumbnail with a file. He insisted on keeping the points after all.
You're right. I run all 7 circles on my own, and they just run 1. Amateur.
Alright, they're done, but don't touch them yet. The gradient needs to dry. Sorry if it's sloppy. Lucy blinked. That was fast. Holding his hands up, the red and the turquoise gradient ended in the sharpest tips he had ever gotten in a while.
Hot damn, this is sloppy work? I can't get better from pride. What else can you do?
Hair, shaves, nails, facials, and petty. The monotone boy was cleaning up as Lucy just stared. Some random soul had apparently showed up at his house, given him some sexy-ass nails, and apparently he can do a full package? Hey, don't smudge them. He was shaken out of his plotting as the team kept his gingers apart. If you smudge them, they'll look awful. And Basil did once, and they just turned mud brown. Aubrey called them shit nails for like 4 days. He was too shy to tell me to redo them.
So you do this stuff for your friends a lot, huh?
Yes, sir.
Kid, I told you to call me Lucy.
He summoned another glass of wine. He went to hold it before getting a scolding look from Sunny. He sighed and summoned a straw to sip it from.
It makes me feel old to be called that, or Old Nick.
Says the guy that was born before creation. This was muttered as he put the nail polish back into his damned makeup bag. Ronald Reagan made a fantastic handbag after being skinned. Still, the boy just stared dead at him, not even hiding his diss.
Oh me, oh my, you got yourself some sass.
He laughed, a richer baritone than his normal voice.
I'll tell you what. You give me a full makeover, and we can work out a deal. No souls involved. Let's see.
The imp reviewed his list as they went down and down and down. Basil, even his spectral form, could feel the temperature rising slowly. Mari felt nothing, being the stone-cold bitch that she was.
First soul on the way down is level 1? Cal is stuck in HR.
What? Hell is an HR department? The blonde felt more exasperated as time went on. He felt like he was in some sort of crack-filled clown universe.
Yeah, no idea why. I figured he'd just be a gluttony, drowning in Orange Joe by the sounds of it.
That's what that asexual deserves. Without a seed being used on a woman, neither of them have any worth in the eyes of the Lord, Mari chirped. People only exist to procreate and worship. The imp and the ghost shared a look. They both knew that crazy and hot were directly proportional, but damn.
Yeah, sure, Missy. All you want in life is to be used as a walking incubator with no meaningful relationships or satisfaction with your actions. I'm positive that's what you want out of life.
When the doors opened, the office demons working looked a little on edge. The fact that mythical monsters were occupying the most ordinary-looking office was amusing, but seeing them all cower, including a minotaur that was building a death barricade, was a little funny.
I'm waiting here, kids. I ain't stepping into this shit.
With that, the door shut. Excuse me, miss, but what's going on? Basil had floated up to a goat lady hiding behind on what a second glance confirmed to be a water/vodka cooler. She was working on a laptop, her hooves tapping the carpet nervously. Ah! Oh, I'm sorry, dearie. You surprised me. Wait. Basil? The goat lady squinted at the apparition before standing and hugging him. Oh, it's so wonderful to see you. Well, hopefully it's not permanent, considering little Miss Mari standing there and still... Dear, why is your body in a wagon? Basil was in shock. Why was she talking like she knew him? Why did this youngish-looking goat monster talk like she came out of the 50s? Why did she seem so familiar? Hi, Grandma. You look like you're doing well. Well, except for the eternal damnation. But you did foster a homosexual. Goat just snorted and tugged her ear roughly. Mari! Language! Also, that was not a nice thing to say! Her 4 eyes squinted at this spectacle, as Mari rapidly apologized constantly, her hair being assaulted and yanked. Grandma! Why are you in hell? How did Grandma, the nicest old lady in the world, end up in hell's HR? Why was she in hell in first place? She was such a sweet old lady that would never hurt— Oh, that was from the murders, sweetie. I got 20 years before I joined your grandpa. Basil and Mari mirrored each other in wide-eyed shock. They just looked at each other in the eyes and slowly looked back as Basil's grand goat clarified. Oh, I was big into the civil rights movement back in the day. And well, if a lynching got shot up and there was a barely clothed white girl there, screaming about how they were going to use and hang them, well, you could get away with a lot. She said this with her same old kindly air, like she was imparting some great wisdom, and not admitting that she was some Quentin Tarantino movie in the making. Grandma, how many people did you kill? Basil was just staring into the distance, looking at a coffee stain on the carpet. That was the most reasonable thing that had happened today. The only grounding thing for a spirit from just saying fuck it and evaporating into thin air is that Sonny would be sad about it, and that he would strangle Mari for her part in all of this. Well, dearie, I lost count at 30. After all, it's hard to tell if they were dead under those pointy white hoods. For all I know, I was just shooting big piles of shit. Most likely I was. Mari did not know where that smug little expression Basil sometimes got came from, or a surprisingly vast knowledge he claimed Grandma got from forensic shows. It scared her now. Funny thing was, racists and bigots are only worth 2/5 of the person. Who would have thought? So I have some time to work off, sweetie. It's not like I'm here forever. The ghost clung to her tightly. The goat flinched before slowly returning it. God damn it, I miss you, you cranky old bitch. The words were spoken like a heartfelt greeting after 2 years of separation. I know, you quivering pussy. I missed you too. With a clap of his shoulders, Grand Goat looked both of them up. Now, first things first, why is Mari acting like half the men I shot? Basil just leaned in close and whispered something as Mari struggled to hear. She thought she heard the word simp, but that couldn't be it. Otherwise, she would chuck his comatose body down an elevator shaft. Ah, I see. Temptation got to her. Gotta fix her later? Basil nodded. You'd think a girl would grow out of episodes like this. Anyway, so you got everyone banished, eh? Well, that explains why the two bosses are having a dispute. She pointed towards the hallway, just in time to watch an imp get impaled up to the wall via a spear that looked rather phallic. Oof, come on, dearies, I have experience with this. Both highly doubted this as a meat tenderizer flew through Basil, but could do little to stop the Grand Goat, so they followed. Down the long hallway they went, until they reached a scorched door, its occupants shouting at the top of their lungs. The small conference room looked standard for any office on Earth, if not for its occupants. On the right was a massive woman in a frilly pink apron and grin that stretched all the way to her ears. Her pudge form did little to hide the massive amounts of muscle her arms contained, the sleeves of her chef's shirt removed. I told you he's mine! All this adorable boy thinks about is food at Orange Joe! The other being was almost formless in a way. Every time you blinked they changed forms, depending on who was viewing them. Mari saw a parade of very attractive and busty women, even more tantalizing than the last. Basil saw Sonny in a bunch of adorable outfits and one brief second of Garfield that almost sent him into a panic until they got a wink and they sighed in relief. At this prank, Kel just saw a lady covered in Orange Joe merch. She looked a bit tired. Yeah, to the point where it's almost a mental illness. It's lust, I tell you, besides Oh, thank you, dear. Kel just grinned as he handed her water, looking across the table at the intruding party. He grinned wider. "Oh, hey guys, look, I'm desired," he said, as if this was just a neat thing, and not a battle over what was done with his immortal soul. Nobody could bear to break it to him. He looked way too happy about it. The mound of plates with no visible change to his form, of course, raised more concern. "Greta! Lilith! What have I told you about tearing up our office?" Grand Goat was not standing up for this bullshit. Even the primordial pillars of hell shrank a bit from this motherly scolding. "Here you are, bickering like a bunch of children! You vaporized several of my best demons, who are now going to want sick pay, and on top of that, you're arguing for no reason! Now say sorry!" She got some half-assed sorries muttered out of the sides of their mouth. Grand Goat frowned, but this was the best she was going to get. "Besides, he isn't in any of your jurisdictions." She held up a finger, silencing the both of them before they started. "He's still alive." With a flurry of movements, Kel was yanked into the air. Lilith and Greta held him in their grasp, both pressing an ear to his chest. "Heh, your french fry hair tickles." Kel just giggled, unaware or just uncaring about his manhandling as the both of their expressions fell. "Also, he's your grandson." "What?" Kel was launched by the volume of the surprise, and then just dropping his ass in the orange Joe cans. "Yeah, about that," perching her readers on her nose, the chain clinking slightly. "In my research of you two, it turns out that your thirst for the Middle Age did make a child, right? One you two gave to a nunnery around the 13th century, right?" "Yeah, that was about the time of the divorce." Greta winced a bit at Lilith's admittance of that. "What? Greta, we have to talk about it sometime. We just let it fester for a while, and it's clearly done no good." "I guess you're right, but this boy is our grandson? I mean, no offense, but he's a puppy dog in a human body." "About that." All heads snapped towards Mari. It had been the first time she'd spoke since their descent. She'd been mostly ogling at the female demons while clutching a crucifix, as if asking for forgiveness for every modestly dressed office demon for her lustful thoughts. But the fog of temptation had cleared. She would educate these sexy heathens. No, revolting heathens. Even if she wanted Greta to sit on her. What if the filthy, asexual sins were more indirect? She rolled her wrist as she put her nose up high. Most likely, considering his nature, he has gluttonous tendencies, and doesn't seem to be gaining any weight. "That does make sense," Basil mused. "Me and Sonny tracked his calories once. The man hits 12,000 a day easily. Orange Joe is like 500 a can. Ugh." Basil shuddered at the thought of that foul liquid. That shit tasted like rust and orange dish soap. "Wait, he can drink that stuff? How often?" Greta looked, disturbed by that. "I literally made it as a joke. See how to give humans diabetes in under 3 months." "You made that stuff, right, Grandma? I love that stuff. It's my life." Greta blinked as she found the tan teens latched around her waist, or at least trying to get around her gigantic girth. She was trying to remain tough, but was quickly losing the fight as a drop of cola began to leak from her eye. She just patted his head as he rubbed his face on her apron. "Making a note to tell Hero about that. What about lust? The only thing I can think of is... No, that's way too stupid." Basil just shook his head, clinging desperately to some hope that some logic prevailed in this universe. He was about to be disappointed. "His lust for life and friendship, of course!" Mari exclaimed with glee as the ghost just sank slowly, covering his face. "It's the reason I told him if he stole your first kisses, I told him that it would bind your souls. Also, because seeing you get spear tackled, get one planted on the lips, then him sprint after Sonny was the funniest shit I've seen in my entire life." Everyone just stared at her, including Kel, eyebrows slowly raising as they absorbed this new information and wondered why the fuck she told him this. Lilith was the first one to speak. "So, you convinced my asexual, super great grandson to go around sexually assaulting 12-year-olds violently for a giggle?" "Yep." Man, why didn't I think about something like that? That kind of trauma would make some gigantic deviants. Lilith grumbled as she looked down, her shifting form now resembling more of a large pink blob. She was too tired to keep up appearances. It's okay, Pink Grandma. Mari's just weird like that, and I did say sorry." He sunk into the bubblegum lady as she patted his head. Basil just sighed. "Kel, your brother is in hell right now. Focus up." I know! He's in greed! They took my brother to be the head of their new crypto coin. Bigot coin. Lowercase. For some reason. Kel just shrugged. Basil was too busy trying to pull out his ethereal hair. Of course they did. Gays going to hell and the hero being the manliest man on earth are the two things I believe in. Finally, Kel gave her some side-eye before looking to Basil. Hey, that's a little homophobic. Did you guys show her Ben Shapiro or something? The scream that echoed out of that boardroom a month later would give Grand Goat the Employee of the Month. Kel, I'm fine. I'm grounded. I promise. After his little fit, Kel had been kind enough to at least walk him through some grounding exercises until he wore himself down. He didn't even notice that they were back in the elevator until then. It seems that Kel had taken custody of the body as well. Mari was too busy arguing with BLZs to be of much use. I'm telling you, mental illness is like thirsting after the same sex. You can pray it away, but if you can't, then God doesn't love you enough. It's a simple concept, really. Kel just grinned, ignoring the problem with a masterful ignorance that Basil wishes he could master. I do have a question, though. If you got demon powers, what did Hero get? Face sparkles? I mean, you can turn into an anime protagonist at will. Basil blinked. Wait. Why did we not question that the entire time? The man can grow like a freaking Twilight vampire! Kelta stared blankly for a moment before snapping back. Oh, yeah! When he's scared, he gets that, like, thick ink line shading. Huh.
Kids, if you do not get this Bible thumper out of my face, I swear I will turn this thing around!
BLZ was turning red. Well, more red than usual. Diversion tactics were needed. Basil walked over and tapped her on the shoulder. Hey, Mari, I heard if you could win a staring contest with a mirror, you aren't a bisexual. Has something to do with the sin contained within the gay reflections, but I can't do it. Maybe you could show me how? I hate having a flexible sexuality. He fluttered his non-existent lashes. Mari was suspicious, but then she remembered that she was a straight white woman. She could never be fooled or wrong. After all, middle-aged mothers on Facebook proved that science wrongs with facts and logic. It wasn't weird how they put on life insurance policies on 4-year-olds. They didn't make them like they used to. Of course I can, best friend and future roommate of my brother. She took out her mirror as she held her nose smugly in the air. Observe! Kel just walked up to the cool imp dude as Basil made sure she never managed to do it. Looks like he just bought you an hour. So, where is my brother? We can forget Aubrey if you want.
We're heading to your brother first, then the girl, and then Sonny. He's with the boss man. This gang can only go down, not up.
The group, now featuring a bandaged Mari, walked up to the doors of Bigotcoin. This new cryptocurrency was going to take the world by storm. Or at least, according to forums of mostly white men who had a bad understanding of biology. I mean, what's so hard about understanding what's in cells? Ha! I showed that bitch what's what. Mari crowed with her victory, where she put her entire fist through a mirror. Thankfully, they had spare cloth to bandage their hand. Unfortunately, it was Basil's ripped-off sleeve. His ghost form now somehow managing his punkish look. God damn it, that shirt was nice. Oh, shush. I'll get you one that doesn't make you look like a gaybo. We need to make you more masculine. Maybe a new hobby and a tap-out tea. They just opened the door, ignoring her, as they were met with pasty, stubbly faces.
No women are allowed in the halls of Bigotcoin or minorities. We need to keep the IQ high.
Said a man whose eyes wasn't even on the same level and who looked so inbred that the Baker twins would shove him in an oven.
The purity of the bloodline will keep us strong, brothers. Do not fear. She has no power here.
Before she had an opportunity to speak and ruined this golden opportunity, Kel slapped a hand over her mouth. Gentlemen, the minorities are here to steal your job/wife. Featuring... Kel adopted a Power Ranger pose. A sexual Hispanic man who is more fit than you, and plus is more attractive. He began T-posing to assert dominance. I'm hot, and yet I don't desire the women, and steal them from you anyway. I'll tell them that they can do better than you, and I'd be right. Basil sighed, but joined in anyway on the stupid charade, if only to spite these creepy neckbeards. I'm the maiden that gets all the girls' attention. I'm the opposite of you, but I'm universally loved. And despite all your weird beliefs, I also tell them that they can do better than someone that smells like fertilizer and spicy cheese poofs. Using his lack of real bones, he took this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to JoJo pose all over these losers. But they're right. She was quickly quieted by 2 hands to her face.
Do it to get the hero. They're worshiping your man as a god.
Also, they think they know better than you. Oh, this got her fucking mad. She pushed them aside, swaying her hips and violently pointed at them. I'm the Asian woman with a real accounting degree and talents and faith. None of you are real men, like my hero. I know you're shilling shitcoin. What, are you doing it through YouTubers? Don't make me call the demon IRS. An oxymoron, considering the normal IRS was already ran by demons. But besides that, like all of these people, when faced with any real-world opposition, they scuttled like cockroaches. Passing them by, they heard them weeping about the friend zone and beta cucks, but were ignored. They didn't even bother to assault their pudgy, moist bodies. What satisfaction would they get by beating them? Living like that was punishment enough. Waiting on the top, 2 morons sat, in pointy white hats and red armbands. They were the scum of the scum, the lowest of the low, and boy were they proud of it. They didn't believe in anything other than the office and their own dumb opinions. However, so wretched were they that not even the other bigots can be within the smelling distance of these foul beasts. The bleeding of their tongues, through some divine miracle, mimicked human speech.
Why did we make the Mexican the CEO? He isn't of the pure bloodline.
One simpered out. His fish-like face gazed at his twin, eyes glazed over, face oily. The other flesh mound, roughly shaped into human form, gross flesh bulging out of the coat of his Nazi uniform, replied,
Looks better. Besides, it's fucking equal opportunity employment, even for the inferior race. He's more handsome than our most well-bred specimens.
They sat silently on this for a moment before the elevator dinged.
Halt! No cut!
His surly offensive statement was stopped by a basketball to the face. It broke his thin, malformed nose with a crunch, and like all bullies, he went down in one decent hit, his tiki torch falling to the wayside. His brother-in-arms just stared dumbly, trying to comprehend how someone with a cleft lip, fetal alcohol syndrome, and brain damage could go down so easily. He only had one real defense.
So much for the tolerant lip.
With that, he was decked with the soulless body of the most Aryan-looking boy you have ever seen. Not that he liked how his body had been ogled in the lobby. Seriously, you know how easily I bruise, and you had a shovel to use! Mari just shrugged with a grin, watching Kel pick up his limp body. Maybe you shouldn't be messing with a girl's brother, huh? You helped us confess, you dumb bitch! And she's walking away again. Great. Cal tried to pat Basil's shoulder, but it just went straight through him. He wiped the thin coating of gay ectoplasm on the comatose body of Basil. Ew. Anyway, yeah, just hold on for a little bit longer, bud. Maybe Hero can break her out of this. And if he can't, then at least we have one more person to help tie her dumb ass down. In the massive penthouse office, Hero was currently sweating his ass off as he read Cryptocurrencies for Minorities. Or at least he was trying to read it, and was struggling. This doesn't explain a damn thing! All it is just slurs and buzzwords! Why am I even here? I'm just a cook! Hero was an inch from pulling his hair out as they entered. Bro, are you okay? Cal! What are cryptocurrencies? I gotta learn how to make this shit work or they're gonna make me microwave meals for an eternity! Help me! The vacant grin Cal wore didn't falter as he was violently shaken. Basil just stared, sighing as he looked over to Mari. Can you fix this? They hit Hero right, the OCD perfectionist, apparently. Gesturing at the golden child panic that was violently wrapping up, little could stop Hero when he got like this. Soon he would be ranting, spiraling a howl that at this point would lead him into being a hobo, making rat burgers to survive. Always coming back to rat burgers for some reason. Mari just sighed, prepared to do her womanly duties. It was always a delight to help her man, but he was being a bit of a pussy.
Sweetie, crypto is just a new way for tech bros and the financially illiterate to gamble on making real-world gains while they burn down a rainforest to do it. It's just a way for libertarians to pretend like they're not interacting with the economy while participating in it and the rising sea levels. Basil was just happy that the scything tone wasn't directed at him, for once. He didn't pretend to know anything about it, but for someone with a real economic degree to speak so vehemently about it, or it could be because people on the left tend to like it. Either or. But I'm the CEO. I gotta do work. Hiro mumbled as he wrung his hands, unaware that most CEOs were just parasites in the world that didn't pay their damned taxes. Hun, I love you. But if you don't come with us, we won't be able to go on Chuck E. Cheese on Friday. That will upset me. And you know what that means? Hiro just paled. No. That's right. No cuddling, hand-holding, or head smooches. She booped his nose. Now man up. Don't be a pussy or a lib cuck. Hiro squinted at her, then over to Kel, who is currently holding a Homophobia Mari sign. Jesus. He loved her, but goddamn, she's a bit silly at times. We started dating when I was still female, Mari, he said, hoping he could break her out of her dumbass subpar with some logic. Shh. I fell in love with the man inside you, not the feminine form on the outside. Everyone was poised to inject themselves into Hiro's defenses. He had already caught enough shit before, but this was interesting. It was oddly homophobic and progressive statement that made their heads hurt. Kel was the one to break the silence. Know what? That's the best we're gonna get. Come on, Hiro. Aubrey and Sunny are still lost in hell. Basil just groaned as he slowly buried his face in his palms. A useless effort, considering they were see-through, giving him a nice view of the carpeted floor. Of course, Kel's said to be the most neurotic of the group. He could already hear Hiro hyperventilating and Mari smacking the back of Kel's head. Even in her dumbass alt-right state, she could spot a bonehead move like that. Still better than whatever Sunny must be dealing with.